Part 93. Spicy fried potatoes and chicken by using chili pepper to satisfy his cravings. Although Chu Xinghong persuaded Yi Yang all the way, unfortunately Yi Yang was unmoved and went straight to the kitchen with the chili pepper. When the cook in the kitchen saw that Yi Yang was going to use the kitchen, he was too frightened to stay, and hurried out of the kitchen, not daring to disturb Yi Yang. Yi Yang completely ignored their fears and asked Chu Xinghong to send a few potatoes before frying them. He thought about fried potatoes for a long time, and decided that he must eat enough this time to satisfy his cravings. Chu Xinghong followed Yi Yang the whole time. Seeing that he had fried potatoes and started to put seasonings, he finally let go of his heart. Fortunately, everything was normal, and the poisonous crops were not put in. Just as his heart fell, Yi Yang cut a chili pepper and put it in the potato, which made him widen his eyes, afraid that Yi Yang would really eat this poisonous thing. Seeing that Yi Yang had mixed the fried potatoes and was about to start eating, Chu Xinghong screamed in fright, "You can't do it, the imperial concubine. If something happens to you, we will all suffer. It's okay, this chili pepper, it's not poisonous. You have to believe me." Yi Yang patted Chu Xinghong, who was pale with fright, and took a piece of fried potato and put it in his mouth. In an instant, the spiciness filled his entire mouth, causing Yi Yang to cry. The strong spiciness made him dare not bite the potato at all. So he spit out the potato. He looks so. No, it should be because he has eaten chili peppers for so many years. This is the first time he has eaten such terrifying and perverted chili peppers, which is even hotter than the Chow Tien chili peppers he has ever eaten. Moreover, because the original owner has always been a light staple food, he has never eaten chili peppers. And suddenly eating chili pepper is naturally so spicy that he doubts his life. "I just said this thing is poisonous. You still don't believe it?" Chu Xinghong was so frightened that he shouted to the people outside, "Pass the imperial physicians, pass the imperial physicians." If Yi Yang died with him, he would definitely be pulled out by the embarrassed emperor and beheaded. Woohoo. He is still young, and he doesn't want to die yet. No need to pass on the imperial physicians. Just drink some water. Yi Yang took a few deep breaths. Seeing that Chu Xinghong was so frightened by him, he picked up the bowl and went to the water tank to scoop the bowl of water and drink it. I felt the bitterness in my mouth dissipate a little. He had always thought that this chili pepper was the same as the green chili pepper he knew and should not be spicy, so he put too much of it, causing him a big shame. He waited for the spiciness in his mouth to gradually dissipate, and said to Chu Xinghong, whose face was pale with fright, "Master Chu, don't be so nervous, this chili pepper is really not poisonous. And when people's mouths get used to the spiciness of chili pepper, they will find that this chili pepper it's delicious." As a City C person, Yi Yang can be said to be fond of spicy food. If he hadn't been able to find chili pepper before, he would have eaten those bland foods. Now that he has chili peppers, he naturally won't wrong himself. Since the chili peppers are so spicy, wouldn't he just fry a little more potato to dilute the spiciness of the chili pepper? So he fried a large bowl of potato and put it in the previous one. After mixing it, he tasted it again. Although it was still very spicy, it was acceptable. When Chu Xinghong saw that Yi Yang really dared to eat it, he admired it. Especially when he saw Yi Yang, who ate a small bowl of potato in a short time. He was suspicious. Could this chili pepper really be eaten? Seeing that Yi Yang was hooked while eating, he was very curious about the taste of this chili pepper. Seeing his curiosity, Yi Yang took a pair of chopsticks and handed them to him. "Here. Try it." "I dare not." Chu Xinghong was too frightened to pick up the chopsticks. It's not that he is afraid that the chili peppers are poisonous, but that he doesn't dare to share a bowl of food with Yi Yang. In his ideological view, there has always been a distinction between honor and inferiority. As a fourth-rank official, how dare he be on an equal footing with the imperial concubine? Not to mention eating with the imperial concubine. It's okay, no outsiders are around. No one knows what you ate. Yi Yang took another small bowl for him, put a piece of potato in the bowl, and handed it to Chu Xinghong. Chu Xinghong took the bowl tremblingly, and under Yi Yang's expectant gaze, he took a bite. As soon as he entered the mouth, a strong sense of spiciness filled his entire mouth. Chu Xinghong, who had never eaten chili peppers before, was moved to tears and wanted to vomit, but he didn't dare to vomit when he saw Yi Yang's eye. He thought that after eating it, the throat and internal organs would be hurt by the chili peppers, but after eating it, he miraculously found that the pain he imagined was not there. Instead, a hint of warmth rose in his stomach, and the pores all over his body were opened, and he felt comfortable. "How is it? It tastes great," Yi Yang asked with a smile. After being reminded by Yi Yang, Chu Xinghong only remembered it carefully. Although the potato was really spicy, he doubted life after eating it, but after eating it slowly, he realized that the taste was indeed very good. Especially the aroma and stimulation of the potato. With his taste buds, he couldn't help but want to eat a piece. Seeing his desire, Yi Yang quickly took a few more pieces of potato for Chu Xinghong. Chu Xinghong thought that there were no outsiders around. No one knew that he and the young master imperial concubine shared a bowl of potatoes, and happily accepted Yi Yang's gift. After eating the fried potato that he was thinking about, Yi Yang felt full of fighting spirit. That afternoon, he led more than a dozen good farmers and taught them how to grow sweet potatoes and corns. After finishing his political affairs, Zhun Yi changed his dazzling dragon robe and put on a set of pure white silk robes. He stood in the forest, looking at Yi Yang not far away, with a trace of infatuation in his eyes. "Your Majesty, why don't you go?" Eunuch Yun asked aloud when he saw Zhun Yi standing there for a long time. Zhun Yi looked at the busy figure with his sleeves rolled up and busy in the field. He just found it pleasing to the eye. No matter how he looked at it, he thought Yi Yang was good-looking, especially the bright smile on his face, which seemed to be warm like spring. He hesitated for a moment, then shook his head. He knew that Yi Yang didn't want to see him, so he didn't want to disturb Yi Yang's good mood. Just watching him from a distance like this could also calm his inner restlessness. Zhun Yi kept standing until the sky gradually darkened before leaving, and Yi Yang, who was working in the field, did not know that Zhun Yi had been here. After a busy afternoon, Yi Yang returned to the temporary residence and fell asleep. It's just that when he was alone, the whole person was instantly engulfed by loneliness, as if he was the only one left in the world. The silence around him was terrifying, and he couldn't hear a single sound, which made him crumble. He sat up and really wanted to yell, "Fucking love, isn't it good for me to be alone? Talk about what love is moving. Damn." He opened his mouth and swallowed the words he wanted to vent. After all, there were people living in the next room. If he made such a fuss, the people around him would definitely not be able to sleep. Fuck. With a low curse, he slumped weakly on the bed. Not wanting to move, Yi Yang was insomnia. This was the conclusion he came to after he hadn't slept all night. Every time I was about to fall asleep, I would think in a daze about what the emperor was doing now. As long as I thought of who the emperor would recruit to serve the bed, I would be so annoyed that I couldn't sleep. So, his eyes. Terrified Xiao Doubting. "Young master, what's wrong with you?" Xiao Doubting pointed at Yi Yang's panda eyes with a worried look on his face. "I recognize the bed," so I can't sleep." Yi Yang used a random reason to prevaricate it. But Xiao Doubting wanted to reply. "Didn't you sleep soundly when you were sleeping in the Ministry of Industry when I saw you earlier? Why didn't I see you, young master, accepting the bed?" After hesitating for a moment, he didn't say anything in the end, but he was a little scared, afraid that Yi Yang would be seriously ill just like a year ago, missing the emperor. Chu Xinghong also appeared in front of Yi Yang with a pair of panda eyes. Yi Yang looked surprised, pointed at Chu Xinghong's panda eyes and asked, "Master Chu, what's wrong with you?" Chu Xinghong looked depressed, but he didn't dare to attack, so he had to reply in grievance. "Imperial concubine, I just said that spicy something is poisonous. You don't believe it. It caused me to stretch my stomach all night last night." Yi Yang did not think that Chu Xinghong's body's ability to adapt is so poor. He had diarrhea after eating just a little chili peppers. He ate a big bowl of fried potatoes yesterday, and he didn't feel sick at all. Seeing Chu Xinghong's pale face and a pair of panda eyes looking very weak, Yi Yang felt a little guilty and comforted. "Master Chu, this is the first time to eat fresh food. There must be an adaptation process. Wait for you. Once the body is used to the chili peppers, it won't happen again when I eat it again." Chu Xinghong was so frightened that the first time he ate it, he was half dead. However, at noon that day, when Yi Yang made a large pot of spicy chicken for everyone to eat, Chu Xinghong completely forgot his promise of "don't kill him" in the morning, and it was delicious. The appetite is more important than diarrhea. Because he has never eaten such delicious chicken before. The chicken is fragrant and tender in the mouth, and it is also slightly spicy. The more I eat, the more I want to eat it. The more enjoyable it is. Pity Yi Yang. The spicy chicken he made for himself was eaten up by the more and more daring officials around him in the end. Looking at everyone who wanted to finish the chili peppers, Yi Yang showed a smile on his face, and decided to let the cookers cook a pot of spicy chicken as he did tonight. After eating and drinking, everyone followed behind Yi Yang and continued to work for the new day. Yi Yang stayed in the palace for 7 days, and after he taught everyone how to grow sweet potatoes and corns, he was going to return to the palace. He didn't see Zhen Yi for a few days, and he felt as if he hadn't seen Zhen Yi for several years, and there was a trace of miss in his heart. He knew that he was done, and that he completely fell in love with the emperor who had 3,000 beauties in the harem. Knowing that the other party can't just be loyal to himself, but still like it. He thought about letting go, but found that he couldn't let go when he could. "Imperial concubine, you are going back to the palace tomorrow. We specially prepared some beer wine to see you off." Chu Xinghong sincerely invited Yi Yang. He actually looked down on the men in the emperor's harem before, and felt that those men were all rich by selling their bodies, but since getting to know Yi Yang, he realized how shallow his eyes were. Yi Yang's talent, he dared to say. In the entire continent, no one dared to rival Yi Yang. "It's okay to see you off, Master Chu. You just need to remember to bring more chili peppers back when you go to sea." The only remaining chili peppers have been made by Yi Yang's various delicacies. And now he can only wait for Chu Xinghong to go to sea and bring chili peppers back. "Young Master Imperial Concubine, don't worry. This minister will live up to the expectations of the Imperial Concubine next time, and pick up all the wild chili peppers from that continent." Yeah, Yi Yang looked satisfied. Looking forward to that day. He is not worried that the number of chili peppers will be less next time, because he has taught them how to store chili peppers and keep them longer. Yes, that's right. It is dried in the sun, and then placed in a ventilated place, which can be stored for up to a year. The next morning, Yi Yang was like when he came. And he returned to the palace without making much noise.
you.